In 2023, Acura and Lexus are two cars that compete with each other. Okay? They've always competed together. They've always competed as to try to get their customers to come to them and buy their vehicles. But I do have to compare Lexus and Acura. Okay? So, as we all know, Acura is more on the sportiness, but luxury is another thing. Luxury is not there with Acura. Even though Acura is trying to get the philosophy sort of from Lexus. They're trying to copy Lexus here and there, but it's not there. So what I do have to say is that for example, the MDX is one of those vehicles that sells very well. Okay? So with the Acuras, like I just mentioned, they're sporty, they're quick, and they're fun to drive. Okay? They're fun to drive. But if you're going on a long road trip or on a long roads, I would say that Acura falls short because it's not comfortable. Okay? So some people, when you talk about comfort, they don't care about comfort. There's people that are cut on both sides because now you have the Lexus. Okay? So you have Lexus that is somewhat sporty, trying to be like an Acura, but at the same time, they're smart by keeping their vehicles very comforting. So it could be they're trying to be for the young people and they're trying to be for the older generation. Okay? The older generation that says, I remember back in the 70s when I had this car that was very comforting and made you feel like you were sitting on sofas or on couches and you just felt comfortable. You just felt very comfortable, and you felt like you were going on a trailer or on a bus or something that's so comfortable that it goes over bumps and you don't feel the bumps here and there. You don't feel them at all. So that is the difference between Acura and Lexus. That Lexus, on their side, they try to go for comfort and somewhat sportiness, while Acura is sporty and somewhat, like I said, somewhat luxurious. But the issue that I get, because I have a Toyota Camry that is not, I'm going to admit, it's not a Lexus, but it's somewhat Lexus level, somewhat. Because whatever they do on the Lexus, they do for the Toyota, okay? And whatever they do for Acura, somewhat it gets down to Honda levels. But I do have to say this. Earlier, or whenever you watch this video, I drove my Toyota through very rough roads, and I do have to say, it felt incredible. It felt very planted. It felt very soft over all these bumps, because I actually like that in my area there's these roads that are very damaged. I get to test my cars because I have an Acura and then I have a Toyota. So when I drive the Acura going down the road, you do feel very, very rough. You feel the truck very, very rough. The SUV, it feels very rough. It is sporty. You do feel a sense of joy driving it, but it's very rough going over all those roads. You feel the whole truck shake, and it makes you feel very uncomfortable. But like I said, the Toyota / Lexus side, it just makes you feel very comforting. It makes you feel like, oh, just let the car wobble and shake and start to have feel like it's gonna break down, but at the same time you just feel comforting. You just feel like nothing is happening. You just feel like, oh, just let the car shake, and you still feel, I feel comfortable, like you're getting a massage or something. Like, I don't know, it just feels so much different. So that's what I have to say, that these two sides always battle each other. But I do have to say that for some reason, people that I speak to, they say, look, Acura is Acura. Acura is a company that is sporty, but it's not luxurious. There's no luxury in it. They're behind. There's nothing luxurious about having an Acura. You're just having a beefed up Honda product. While you can argue about Toyota and Lexus, but I do have to agree with them that I do say, look, if I drive a Toyota Camry, it doesn't feel like I'm driving a Lexus IS, and it doesn't feel like I'm driving a Lexus ES, because the ES feels a little bit more luxurious. So that's what I do have to say, that Honda and Acura, they're basically, back in the day, they used to be basically the same vehicles, but they were just a little bit luxurious, or a little bit of touches to make it seem different than their counterparts. Okay, so that is what is different. And I do have to say that even though the MDX is one of those vehicles that sells really well, and Lexus has their RX that sells really well, the issue is that Acura doesn't sell well. I mean, like, if you're comparing it to the Lexus sells more units than Acura does, which is surprising, even in 2023, because people say, oh, I'd rather have an Acura than have a Lexus product. So I do have to say, yeah, I do agree that both vehicles are great, because one is for sportiness, have fun with it, and use it as a track vehicle, or someone having a back roads and feel like you're in control of the vehicle, and it's super quick, and you feel sportiness, you feel the fun, you feel excitement. While, like I said, the Lexus is somewhat sporty, but not truly sporty. It's somewhat sporty, but they're more luxurious and comforting, which to some people it's like, it scares them. Comfort scares them. Okay? So all I have to say is that Acura, it excites people, while Lexus leaves them wanting more, or leaves them feeling uncomfortable with the comfort, because they're like, it's so comfortable that I'm like, am I driving, or how does this feel? This feels really weird, having it be so soft. So that's all I have to say about that. That those two cars, I would have either one of them. I mean, not either one of them. I wouldn't choose an Acura over Lexus, or I wouldn't choose Lexus over Acura, even though I do have to say that in some ways I would choose a Lexus, but I would rather have both, because one for the thrills, and the other one for comforting, for long road trips, to go from LA, or to go from one place to like 300 miles or 500 miles down to San Diego, or up to Vegas, or somewhere up to San Francisco, if I ever decided to go to San Francisco, or head down to Arizona, or some other place. So that's what I'm saying. I would rather take comfort for long road trips, and Acura for its sportiness, which I feel like I wouldn't take an Acura for a road trip. I would rather take Lexus. So I'm a little biased towards Lexus, because I I've driven both. I've driven both Acuras and Lexuses, and I do have to say, Lexus is on another level compared to an Acura. Okay, that's like comparing a Bentley to a BMW. Come on, Bentleys are way more expensive, and they drive way better than a BMW. So that's how I'm comparing it as. I'm not comparing it as saying, oh, a Mercedes Benz versus a BMW. No, because they're both about the same. They're both about the same. Sometimes you could say, oh, BMW is comforting, or sometimes you could say BMW's sportiness, and then the same thing you could say about Mercedes. Oh, it's quick, or it's comforting. It's about the same. So I do have to say that about Lexus and Acura, that you get to choose whatever car you want, but I'm just telling you that these two cars, they're attacking each other all the time. They're competing with each other, but they are both two different cars for two different demographics. People that want sportiness and people that want comfort and luxury. Because I'm never going to say that Acura is luxurious, because it's not luxurious. It is sportiness. And you can ask anybody and you will see that they will say the same thing. Acura is sporty. It's not luxurious. So that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll catch you guys in another video.